بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The next characteristic for us to discuss is that of al-hams. Al-hams can be described as the whispering sifa, and essentially it is the flowing of breath whilst pronouncing a letter. So what that means is air should be felt escaping the mouth, resembling a whisper when you are pronouncing the letters of al-hams. There are 10 letters that this sifa applies to, and they can be gathered in the mnemonic فَحَثَّهُ شَخْصٌ سَكَتْ. So that is fa, ha, tha, ha, sheen, kha, sad, sin, kaf, and ta. The opposite of this characteristic is known as al-jahr, and that applies to the remaining letters of the Arabic alphabet, and it's essentially the opposite. So when air is trapped while pronouncing a letter due to the strength of its makhraj preventing breath escaping. It's very likely that you would have already been applying the characteristic of al-hams even prior to watching this video, even though you may not have known about the characteristic itself. So the primary purpose of this video is actually to highlight a common mistake that can be found when applying this characteristic. And this tends to be with the letter ta. What some reciters do is that they overdo the sifa of hams when reciting the letter ta, so that they allow an excessive amount of air to be released when reciting the letter, and it distorts the sound of the ta almost to the point where it begins to sound similar to the letter sin. And this is particularly profound or made apparent when the ta is sakin, because, as with all characteristics, they become more prominent when the letter is sakin. For example, a person could recite the following word with this mistake: tutla, tutla. Notice how there is an excessive use of al-hams in the second ta, which is sakin. Tutla, almost to the point where it sounds like a sin. The correct pronunciation is tutla, tutla. There's still some air being allowed to flow with the pronunciation of ta, but not so much to the point where it distorts the sound of the letter itself. Other examples include wattaqu, not wattaqu. Wattaqu is the correct way to pronounce it. It's important to note that the characteristic of al-hams, and likewise any other characteristic, is applied to the letter regardless of the state that it is found in. Now, although it is made more apparent when the letter is sakin, the characteristic should be applied regardless of whether the letter has a fatha or a dhamma or a kasra. Make sure to repeat this video several times and practice the rule several times, and complete the homework that will be released in the following days.